was a quiet October night in Crosse, Wisconsin, the kind of evening when nothing unusual was supposed to happen. A 15-year-old girl was babysitting. A toddler slept upstairs. The house was calm, still, and safe. Then she disappeared. This is the haunting mystery of Evelyn Hartley. It was October 24, 1953. Evelyn Hartley was a sophomore at Central High School. She was a good student, responsible, quiet, and deeply trusted by her parents. That night, she was filling in for a friend, babysitting the 20-month-old daughter of a college professor. She arrived at the house around 6:30 p.m. Everything was normal. She spoke with her father, Richard Hartley, around 7 to check in. He had tried calling the house, but no one picked up. Evelyn had promised to check in regularly by 8:30 p.m. Richard started to worry. He called again. No answer. He drove to the house. When he arrived, the lights were on, the radio was playing, the front door was locked, but there was no sign of Evelyn. He walked around the house and noticed something strange. A basement window was open. He climbed inside and found one of Evelyn's shoes in the living room. Her other shoe was upstairs. Her glasses were found broken on the floor, and Evelyn was gone. The baby was still asleep in her crib. Richard Hartley called the police immediately. Within hours, a massive search was underway. Inside the home, investigators found clear signs of a struggle. Furniture was knocked over, bloodstains were discovered on the walls, floors, and in the basement. The open basement window had smears of blood on the sill and footprints in the soil outside. Police believed the attacker had entered through the window, attacked Evelyn, and dragged her out. But the question was, why? She wasn't known to have enemies. There was no known stalker, no boyfriend, no one suspicious in her life. The motive was a complete mystery. The search effort was enormous. Over 1,000 volunteers scoured nearby fields, forests, rivers, and roads. Bloodhounds were brought in. Planes flew overhead. A local TV station interrupted programming to ask for information. Drivers were stopped and questioned. Farmers were asked to check their wells. Still nothing. A few clues surfaced. Some blood-stained men's clothing was found near a highway, but tests at the time couldn't link it to Evelyn. A neighbour reported seeing a car speeding away from the area that night, nearly running them off the road. Another claimed they heard screams around 7 p.m. But there was no consistent description of a vehicle, no clear suspect, no witnesses saw Evelyn being taken. Leads poured in from all over the country. Psychics offered visions, letters were sent claiming to know what happened, but none of the tips led anywhere. In a bizarre twist, months later, a man in custody on unrelated charges confessed to the crime. He said he had taken Evelyn, assaulted her and buried her body. Police followed the confession to a remote location, but they found nothing. He later recanted, and authorities believed he had made it up. The case went cold. For decades, Evelyn Hartley's disappearance haunted La Crosse. Her face appeared on missing persons posters and in newspaper anniversary articles. She became a symbol of sudden, senseless loss. Then years later, a possible answer surfaced, deep inside a jail cell. In the 1970s, a man named Ed Gein was rumoured to have mentioned Evelyn's name. Gein was already infamous as one of America's most twisted murderers and grave robbers. Some believed Evelyn may have been one of his victims, but investigators found no proof. Her name wasn't connected to any of the evidence found on his property. More recently, attention turned towards a man named Mel Williams, a convicted killer who had lived in the area. In 2004, a deathbed confession emerged from a different man, claiming that Evelyn had been kidnapped by a group of local boys and killed shortly after. Again, police couldn't confirm the account. Too much time had passed. The supposed witnesses were dead or unwilling to talk. Despite all the theories, Evelyn Hartley's case remains officially unsolved. No body was ever found. No arrest was ever made. What makes this case so disturbing is its randomness. Evelyn didn't run away. She wasn't meeting anyone in secret. She was simply doing a favour, babysitting for a neighbour. And in the span of an hour, she vanished into thin air. The case is often compared to the disappearance of other young women in the 1950s. It inspired changes in how missing persons were reported, and it reminded the public that even in quiet towns, the worst can happen. Evelyn Hartley was 15 years old. She was reading a book when she was taken. She left behind a broken pair of glasses, a trail of blood, a town frozen in fear. 70 years later, her story is still told, passed down like a warning from one generation to the next. What happened to Evelyn Hartley? Was she targeted? Or was it a random predator passing through town? Is her body buried in a forgotten field or hidden in plain sight? Until someone confesses or someone finds what was left behind, the answer will remain buried with time.